Got me now? Got me now? Got me now? Hope you guys got me now. I didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. I apologize. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so let me say hi again to everybody real quick then. If you guys didn't hear any of that. Hey, George, Crystalline, what's up? Seventh, what's up, brother? Kathleen, Texas Lady, good to see you. Andy, Jerry, good to see you, Jerry. Pamela, what's up, my sister? George, Christopher, and everybody else that's here. You know, guys, I haven't been on the internet very much lately, guys, and got a lot of stuff going on in my life, and everybody else has got the same kinds of things. So I'm not going to sit here and try to say I'm any busier than anybody else, but that is what's going on. I have a lot of stuff going on, and yeah. Hey, Steven, what's up? I will say this: I miss all you guys. I really do. Yeah, I really do. I really miss you guys. So, but we're gonna get into the space weather, guys, and we're just gonna. I am gonna put the chat away. I trust my mods in there. Anybody else that wants to, hop on here and just check it out, welcome. Anybody that hasn't been here for a minute, I know I haven't been streaming very much. Let's see here what we got. Yeah, okay, we're going here. Okay, so I want to make sure that everything was good on the technical end of it. I would ask you guys to, like I said, I haven't been streaming hardly at all. Just giving you guys really short updates and things like that. Please share this out. Once when you kind of back off of doing streams for a while, people tend to, it takes them a minute to get back here sometimes, and notifications don't always go out. Hey, Miss V, what's up, girl? Good to see you. Hey, tell Christian I sent him an email. I'm not sure if he's seen it or not. I'm not sure if let's see here. Hey, Mark, what's up? See if he's in here or not. Leisure, are you in here, brother? If you are, good to see you. Good to talk to you, Linda. What's up? What's going on? Okay, so I am putting the chat away right now, so if I missed something, guys, I apologize. Okay, cool. Is he doing okay? Just somebody let me know. I just want to, I'll check on him. So, hey, Red, what's up? So, we're just going to keep... Okay, cool. Hey, E-Rock. Good to see you. All right, guys. I am going to go ahead and put this chat away, like I said 5,000 times ago. And again, guys, I do trust my moderators. They have always done a good job here. Okay, Miss B, I got you. All right, I am clicking the button now, by the way. I just like talking to you guys, that's all. So, anyway, I am going to go ahead and put that down there. Okay. All right, so what do we got going on, guys? Well, we've got this over here. This is NOAA, Space Weather Prediction Center. I'm going to talk about this very briefly because I want to show you guys stuff. I just don't want to show you this stuff right here is kind of boring, in my opinion. But right now, if you look, there's no data being inputted into NOAA right now almost all day long. I'm not sure if it was a scheduled thing, and this does happen from time to time. They do have to do maintenance on the website. Sometimes I'm not sure if that's what's actually going on right now. Sometimes they do have technical issues, but I can't say for sure. So there is no NOAA updates right here, but we can look at the data elsewhere. Okay, so it's not like we don't have nothing to look at, and we can still tell what's going on. We did have a pretty decent size flare, a couple of them actually. So let me show those to you here real quick, and I want to show you the actual X-ray, because there's other places to look at this stuff, and if you guys have never seen this, if you guys just go over here to Space Weather Prediction Center, and if you scroll all the way down, matter of fact, I'm going to put this in the chat because let me pull the chat back up. Okay, there we go. This is a good hub. There's a lot of links at the bottom of this. Okay. Hey, Cheryl Finch. Anybody else that's in there? All right. So put chat back away, guys. By the way, So if I'm not answering, that's why. If you guys scroll down the bottom of the page here, you're going to see a bunch of links. This is pretty much, especially somebody just getting into this and trying to understand space weather at a higher level, this is a great place to come to get really good links to go look at. Most of the stuff I show you guys came from down here. So, I mean, we can go down through here, and even though the dashboard here isn't updating, we can still get to a lot of the data. Again, so a lot of times it's technical stuff. So the data's there. It's just they haven't processed it or having issues with this or whatever's going on. But let's see here. Let's see if I can't find what I want here. I want to show you guys. Okay. So if we go like right here, electron flux, magnometer, proton flux. Okay. Where is it? You guys have heard me say proton flux. Where at? I'll show you. Right up here. Okay. They got it broken down into individual pages to where you can just look at one data point. So sometimes when it's not showing up on the dashboard, you could come down here and like on GOES, we want to look at X-ray right now. We click on GOES X-ray flux, and what's it going to do? Wapow! There it is. There's all your data. Okay? So that's a really good way to get this, guys. Okay? Now, here's your classifications on the right. Now, this is going to read a little different, okay? Because what they've done here is, if you look at the yellow line, that's GOES 17 satellite. I believe the blue line is GOES 16. And then you got the purple line, which is GOES 17 short. And I'm not going to get into what those things are, the difference between short and long. I'm not getting into that discussion tonight. Just know it is a little different. But what we are going to look at here, typically we're going to look at GOES 17 because that's usually what they use for the dashboard. Okay, so if you look at this, you're going to see that we had an M-class flare right here, and we had one back here. Both of these today. So those are flares. And again, guys, like I said, there's always a way to get to the data, typically. Unless there's like a satellite issue, which happens, that's the source of the data. So if something happens on that end of it, then, we're going to have messed up data because it's just not going to be there. But even sometimes then they can recover it later on. So that's kind of what I would say. All right, so I'm going to take you guys over here to show you the flare. A couple of them, actually. And, again, I was on Mark's show, was it last night or the night before? I can't remember. Was it last night or 2 nights ago? I think it might have been 2 nights ago. But we had some, stuff going on. I gave an update for everybody over on Marfugal. If you guys have never been over to Marfugal, please go over and check them out, guys. They do a wonderful job. You guys know I love Adam and Dex. Been my friends for a very long time now. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here right now. I'll just say it that way. They don't even know this, but they pretty much stopped me from shutting my stuff down 2 or 3 different times. Just from watching what they're doing and just seeing how they push through their hard times, it kind of keeps me focused a little bit better. And I really do appreciate that from them. They walk how they talk, and so that's just great stuff. And they don't even know that. I've never really said that to them, but maybe they'll hear this. I don't know. They're awesome. But anyway, your flare is going to be right here. I'm going to zoom in and we'll take a closer look. And I am going to just stick to the data today, guys. I don't want to take up too much time here on people's lives here. I know it's kind of it's at 9 o'clock or Eastern anyway. But I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now. My wife actually went to bed early tonight, and my daughter's staying at my sister's. So, kind of sitting in the house by myself right now. I was outside spraying for weeds earlier. Kind of sucks. But anyway. All right. So, obviously, you're seeing that. I'll just back it up here to this one. Let's, right there. Okay, pretty obvious where that bigger M class flare came from. I believe it came in at an M2. If you want just like a really good dashboard or a good, like to see how strong a flare is, and you don't really know how to look at the data, go to spaceweather.com, which is what this is. Dr. Phillips runs this website and does an awesome job. But if you guys go over here and you look over here, it'll give you a 24-hour max and a 6-hour max of the solar flares. So the biggest one that we seen there was an M2. So that's what it's going to show you here. Okay. So I know it was at least an M2 because I do trust these guys over here. I don't know that I've ever really seen them be wrong in any kind of data input or anything like that. So they do a really good job. So please go check them out too. They're in my description. So anyway, and I've never even talked to Dr. Phillips, so I just think that they do a really good job. So, but there's one of those eruptions right there. Obviously, that's a sizable one, right? I mean, that's not a little one. And, you know, and of course, the next question is, did it cause a CME? That one, I don't think it did. Okay, this big one here. I can't say for certain yet because it's too early. But it definitely, and it does look like it might have erupted a little bit. You can kind of see it here. But judging just from this one point of view, if it did erupt, now I know it looks like that's dead on, right on us right now. It's really not. It's still kind of on the side there a little bit. So any eruption most likely will be going off to our left and probably to the north. But I'm not going to say that 100%. So, I just want to say that, right? So, if we go over here and we check this out, let's see what we got here. Okay, so I wanted to show you that right there. I mean, it's pretty, it's very photogenic on this 131 angstrom. Okay, and again, this is on SDO looking at the sun. Satellite sits right out in front of the Earth, and that's what it's doing. So, yeah. Now, we get another eruption right here after this. Okay, so watch where my cursor is. You won't be able to see it very well. Okay, I was off a little bit. It's over here. See that? So, there wasn't much X-ray with that, but you can definitely see how there's some plasma getting ejected out there. So, what I would say is that, in my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, guys. I mean, nothing has to be all crazy, okay? It does look like it's got a chance of getting to us, okay? If that makes any sense to you at all, it could, obviously it could miss us or whatever, but it really does look like this is kind of like right in front of us here. And we'll back that up and look at it again. See where my cursor's at, guys? So, even though that wasn't as photogenic, it did eject out some plasma. And we'll look at it on the 304 over here, because this is where you're going to be able to see this better. Okay? So let me pause that, and we'll take it this way. All right? So I'm going to skip past this flare here, but what I want to point out is, see these dark shadows? Those are filaments, guys. That's magnetic filaments, and, they're basically big channels of excited plasma. And usually what will happen is they're above the surface. Sometimes they'll fall into the surface, sometimes they'll erupt, especially if they get unstable, or sometimes a CME or even a flare can cause them to destabilize and they'll eject out. But look at these long filaments. These are big. This is really the story right now, is all these filaments. They're very, very large. So you can see. And obviously we got sunspots. I mean, that's a given from now on. You're not really going to see many more days, if any at all, where we don't have a sunspot facing us. So watch right here, where my cursor is. Maybe you got to move it again. Nope, there it went. Okay. So as you can see, actually, I think I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more here. Give you guys even a closer look. Okay, so again, my cursor. Right here. I'm going to take it frame by frame. You can see that's starting to lift off, right? Notice that there ain't really a sunspot there. Okay? Look at that. Okay? See how it lifts off? And then boom, you can see it ejecting that plasma out. So, yeah. It's definitely ejected out there, guys. So, and you can see the dark shadow in it. And again, this one actually looks like it might miss us too. I just got to be honest. Just the way that's coming off of the sun, the direction it's going, I can't say it for sure because none of us can until the data comes in. So, yeah. But just an overall look at the sun, guys. You guys, I mean, I hope you guys can see it like I do because we'll look at both of these and we'll just run these movies and we'll be able to see that things are just active. There is no doubt whatsoever things are active. And what we'll do, which might even be better, I'll zoom this down just a little bit more here. Okay, we'll roll with that. I'll take you to the 171. Now, again, this is another angstrom of light, and it shows just different gases, right? But this one seems to be a little bit more like, I don't want to call it more intense because it's no more intense than the other ones. It just shows the gas in a different way. And sometimes looking at different angstroms, well, all the time, we'll see different details. Okay? So, as you can tell, look at all these. I mean, it's just bright. And so let me just grab this and I'll just move it like that. Now, you guys, look down here. Watch this eruption down here. See that? I'm going to show that to you on the 304 too. I mean, that's, and that one didn't come at us, obviously. But really, that eruption, I want you guys to follow my cursor, is like this big. That's how long that arcing connection line is. And when I show it to you on the 304, you'll definitely be able to see it. And this is what I actually talked about this over on Marfugal, about how these filaments, when they release off, they'll flick out like a whip. And it's hard to tell sometimes what direction and how fast they're moving because of that. So let me pause this. Now watch down here. See that? So it went to lift off and then it breaks. That's a filament releasing off, guys. Okay? Notice that where it breaks here in the middle, there is no eruption. We can't see any eruption down here. This looks like a filament that's lifting off, it's destabilized, and it's going to go out into space. And that's exactly what it does. So, I guess I could zoom in a little bit more. So you guys can see that just a little bit better. Okay, notice you can even see solar rain. That's the plasma going back down to the surface in straight lines. Why is it going straight lines? Because that's a magnetic line. That's a connection back to the sun. You got to remember, plasma is charged gas. Like electricity has a charge, so does plasma. It's a gas that has a charge, negative or positive. And that determines what direction it flows. So, as you can see there, it does lift off, and you can see it, boom, it just snaps. And that's exactly, I use the analogy of an incandescent light bulb, right? If you guys look at an old style light bulb, you'll see a filament. What I say there? Filament, just like I said here, in the middle of that bulb. And when it breaks, that's when your bulb goes out. Why is the filament there, and why does that work? Well, because they twist it, right? So they're causing resistance. When they cause that resistance, the electricity that's flowing through there generates heat and light. So that's how your light bulb works. The old style ones do. Okay? Not so much with obviously the fluorescence won't work that way, neither will the LEDs or any of that. But these are old incandescent bulbs. And again, you know, when that filament breaks, boom, your light goes out. Okay? That's why when you could actually take the light bulb, hold it up to your ear, and shake it. Ah, Mr. Bard. What we got in here? Hey, Major. What's going on, bud? Christine, what's happening? Our world ain't ended. Guys, come on. We don't do fear here. We don't do fear. No fear here. Nothing but looking at stuff, trying to be aware, and loving on each other. That's what we do here. So, hopefully you don't actually feel like that. I would hate for anybody to feel like that. But anyway, take an old incandescent light bulb and shake it by your ear. You hear that stuff flicking around inside that bulb. That's that filament that broke. Why does it break? Well, they wear out. I'm not trying to give you guys an electrical light bulb class here or anything, but it does help you understand what this filament kind of resembles. Okay, but notice these other filaments moving around. I'm gonna put it in play here in just a second, but you'll see these are starting to lift off too. Some of these are. Okay, see them moving, and once they destabilize, typically they'll either fall back into the sun, like this one here. This one here has really got me kind of watching it pretty close, because you can definitely see this one here moving. Okay, and it's almost like, it's almost like that one broke, guys. I just now seen that. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it erupted out, because it doesn't look like it did. I'm not saying that it didn't either. And the reason why I can't say either or is because the sun's the background. We can't really see it. This is the filament I'm talking about. Okay? Going down through there. What's interesting is it goes up here and it connects to where our eruption happened. Okay? So let me run this back and forth and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Run this down. So watch here. You'll see this move. Now, when this one over here lifted off, okay, the big one I showed you guys, see that? You can catch this. You might not be able to see it on your view. Let me do this. That one lifts off, and it's like it destabilized some of that stuff, and it kind of got come around this way. Watch this filament start moving. See that? See how it's breaking right there? It looks like it broke right there. Matter of fact, I can see it. I'm not sure if you guys can or not, but it's really light right there. It kind of breaks right here. But even though that breaks, watch what happens. If you follow this filament up, it goes right to that eruption. Right here. Watch. Here, I'll back it up. And right when that happened, that all happened at once, guys. So what it looks like happened is this big one over here, this filament or whatever it was on the backside, or on the other side of the limb there, destabilized enough stuff that it caused this filament to destabilize, and it broke right there. And then that was enough destabilization to actually make it around to here, and then this one erupted. See that? I mean, see what I'm saying, guys? So when somebody tells you that it doesn't matter what happens on the backside of the sun, you might want to tell them to go read some more stuff, because it's not the truth. It matters. It really does. So, I hope you guys understood that. I hope I explained that and articulated that good enough. I don't really, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So, if you guys didn't understand that, I apologize. But, yeah, one thing causes another, Stephen. Let's take the time here to say hi to everybody real quick. Hey, T. Prada, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Hey, Schumann Verte, my brother's in the hizzy. All right. I'm put it back away real quick. Hey, Snafu Snaps, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, Cheryl. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about that in Enlightened Truth Seeker. I'm going to show you guys that comet, because that comet, that sun diver, and that's a crude. That's something we see a lot. Basically it's a family of comets that we go through that a lot. It's expected, but sometimes they dive into the sun. Sometimes they're bigger. Sometimes they're smaller. So let me show you the sun divers here real quick, and then I'll show you the rest of the eruptions and stuff that happened, because something interesting happened. I'm not sure if it actually caused an eruption or if it helped destabilize stuff. You guys make up your mind on what you think on that end of it, but I'll show you what I think. This is SOHO. This is a satellite that sits about 1 million miles closer to the sun, out in front of Earth. Okay? Obviously, you guys can see that comet diving in there, right? I mean, it's not hard to see. This one isn't. Okay? What's interesting is I've seen it on both satellites. Okay? It showed up on Stereo A also. Hey, Cemetery! Good to see you guys. Okay, so I'm going to pause this. And this is the comet, all right? So let me, I'm going to run it slower here. We'll start it. And watch what happens, okay? So to explain, this is an occulter disk. It's right out in front of the sun. Not out in front of the sun. It sits on the camera, blocking the main light of the sun, right? So basically it's blocking out the corona so we can even get a capture at all. So the actual sun surface is more so over here on this white circle. So, yeah. But watch this. Watch when this thing goes behind. Watch what happens to the sun. It's behind there now. And about... Oh, man. Hey, somebody give me a 5 for 5 if you got me. You may not. You guys got me? I don't know why it said disconnected. Okay. Because my headphones went off and said it was disconnected. So, I don't know if it was... my headphones must have been connected to another device and it just went off. Okay, we're good. So yeah, guys, check this out. Watch what happens. Here, we'll go ahead and speed it back up. Here it comes in, and then watch. Boom. See that? Boom. I have a hard time thinking that didn't help cause that CME right there. So, and they do. Comets do. What was that explosion? That was a CME, Linda. It really was. But I think the comet, as it was diving in there, you got to think that everything's magnetic, guys. They really are. And it's a crude sun diver, guys. If you guys just look that up, SOHO catches these things all the time. But as you can see here, I'll hit start again, and then here it comes. That's it right there. Actually, guys, I've seen like 20 times bigger than this, just about. Most of the time, they don't ever make it to the surface. But yeah, hey, yeah, Rip, you're right. Good to see you, bud. But watch this come in here, and watch it. Right as it gets past the occulter, boom, that happened. I have a hard time thinking that didn't, play a little part in that CME. The timing of it is just too perfect, And again, I don't even think that comet made it all the way to the surface, okay? They typically don't. They typically will get burned up and ate up before they get there. Now, there has been a few that's hit the sun, obviously. But, most of the time, we call them sun divers, but a lot of the time, they end up being sun grazers. And what that means is they actually get real close to the sun, and they're still at escape velocity, so they get slungshot around, and they go back out the same orbit they were in. Okay? So these things are orbiting the sun. And every once in a while, they get too close and just get sucked in. And that's what's happened here. Yep. 100%, Sydney, thank you. Yep. recruit sun grazers, 100%. Thank you for putting that in there. Appreciate that. Okay, so let me put the chat back away so I don't get distracted. I just think that is, the timing of that is just way too, I don't know. You know, and again, does it really matter? Not really. It's just cool, you know. It's cool to see something actually come, you know, right there, come into it, and be able to be like pointing to it and been like, hey, there it is. And then boom, so the sun decided. Now, again, I don't even know if that eruption was on this side. That actually could have been off the backside. I don't know. I can't tell. So, yeah. So let me take you guys over to stereo A, and we'll take, this will be the satellite from the side view, and it shows up on here too. Okay? I think it's on the 12th, pretty sure. Yep. So I'm going to slow it down. Now, it's not going to be as impressive, okay? But when they show up on both satellites, typically they're pretty sizable. Stereo A isn't able to catch these as well as Soho. The graphics and stuff here just isn't as good. But you can definitely see it, okay? I actually have a 45-second video on my channel. It's unlisted right now. I might unlist it. I might list it or whatever. I sent it over to Marv and Adam. I think I sent it over to Mark Pires if he wanted to use it for one of his stories or whatever. That way they could use it and show it to them, or if they wanted to, or thought it was cool. I'll post stuff like that unlisted on my channel from time to time for those guys. It's easier just to share the information that way. So I may unlist that, or we might take a look at it here in a minute. But you can see it right here, guys. And again, see how this doesn't look all that impressive? But you also have to think that this is actually a different point of view. It is definitely a little bit further away from this object, and the light is going to be a little different. Okay? But the fact that it showed up on both is enough to tell me that, you know, it was probably pretty sizable. Not like end of days type of stuff, but definitely something to take a look at. So, what's happening now? Well, let me show you. Let's go to the next day. We'll go to the 13th. And actually, we're going to go ahead and go on to the 14th. There's that sun diver. But you can see eruptions, right, guys? These are not the ones from that flare. Okay? The second one is. That's the first one. And then this one here is from that M-class flare off to the side here. The one that happened right about this area of the sun. That one there is actually going off. The first one here, right there, that's actually going off the backside, guys. That's not coming at us. I don't think either one of these are coming at us. Okay? Now, we don't have any data for the one that happened right here. Like right in front of us. So we're going to have to, you know, kind of wait and see. And wait for the data to come in and see what's going to happen here. Okay? So, yeah. But this one here was kind of interesting. The first one, if you look real close, I was just kind of, you know, that's what I do. I kind of analyze it the best I can. I'm not, you know, I don't have any school or anything underneath my belt on this. But what I found interesting about this one, it's almost like, it was like pulsing. And why I say that, you see the little individual rings as this first one erupted. I'll try to pause it here. How about I do that? Just pause that. Okay, yeah, that shows me better. Okay, yeah, cool. You see these little individual rings? Okay, so it's almost like it was just like bam, 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 bam. A lot of times when these things, you know, they blow off, they don't do that. You'll just have one on the outside, maybe one kind of in the middle. But that's a lot of different, like little small different temperature differences. Because that's, you know, Matthew Shipley actually taught me that. He doesn't know it, but he did. What you're seeing here, I think you put it in my comment section. When you see these different colors, that's actually the difference in temperature. That's what causes that. Those difference in colors. I didn't know that. I didn't know, you know, exactly how the coronagraphs worked as far as that part of it. But I do think it was, yeah. But is what it is. So you can see that right there. But I think it's just pulsating, all that, right? But yeah, it's one of those things that, yeah, it's about what it looks like, isn't it? Isn't it, Mark? Yeah, good analogy. Harmonic eruption. It's kind of what that looks like. If you guys ever look at the Schumann Resonance, and I know that's been a big subject lately since CERN fired back up. I don't like saying that word on my channel because usually it'll kill the video, no matter if you say it once or twice. The algorithm just does not like it. So, yeah. Rip. Yeah, Rip. Guys, pray for Rip. He's having some, sickness going on in his family. And everybody be praying, sending Rip some love, guys, please. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. He does it for us. I promise you that. He does it when nobody even asks. I know. Yeah, Rip is the man when it comes to that stuff. I try to do the same for him and all you guys also. But anyway, yeah, good way to put that, Mark. Here, and I am putting the chat back away, so you can see that kind of just pulsating. But the Schumann Resonance, guys, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of humming at a certain hertz level. But as you're looking at that is heat difference. That's what the colors are. I did not know that. Okay. Oh, hey, Trish, good to see you. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Jake, what's happening? But yeah, that's a man, I tell you, it's a decent sized eruption. It's not like, again, if it's ever going to be grid down, guys, you guys probably are not going to have to ask me. I'm probably going to be out here screaming it, just so you know, if I have a chance to do so. Most of the time, if it's going to be a situation like that, we probably are not going to get any warning. If it's a CME, yes, we would. Some sort of warning. But it ain't going to be a long one. No more than a day. But if something else like the Xrays and stuff from a large flare, those kinds of things, those are here too quick. It's just nothing. There's nothing we can do about that, So let's go look at those eruptions here. Thanks, man. All right, so let's go look at these eruptions here on stereo A, and you're only going to be able to see the one. That's the only one it caught. We're missing some data here. We can go look at it on ISWA. It is there over on ISWA, but I'm not going to waste your guys' time because it's really not much to see. So I'm going to pause that and go back a little bit. You can even see the difference here too, like the temperature difference with these rings. But yeah, I mean, again, Earth is over here, guys. Now, we're only at about a 30-degree angle now with stereo A instead of 90 like it used to be. So, this really isn't a true side view, but this is still going that way. This isn't going to hit us. I don't even think there's a slight chance of that one hitting us. So, but that is a decent-sized looking little eruption there. Okay. So, now this is Discover data, and something I've noticed here, everything is very, very, I don't know how to say this, steady. Okay? Now, we got a density, so this is solar wind, and the density is, running right around 10, and it's staying there. It's like all day. Hasn't hardly moved. Same thing with the speed. See it? The purple? So, and even the BZ. Look at the BZ up here. It stayed right at 0, kind of went boop, boop, and then right here it's been hanging right around 4 or 5 all day. That's the angle of the magnetic, our field. So that's really what lets stuff in easy or hard. So just so you know. Now the phi angle, which is the polarity of the solar wind, because like I said, guys, solar wind is charged gas. It's plasma. So it has a negative and a positive, right? So sometimes that flips. And it'll do it multiple times a day sometimes. But right now, we haven't even had any kind of phi. They call it the phi angle. That hasn't even flipped. So, temperature's been holding real steady here. So that's probably why we don't have any geomagnetic storming going on. Because we do have, let's take you guys here. This is our magnetosphere, our magnetic field. We do have some higher solar wind speeds here. Okay? Sun's off to the left, and you can see, and the red colors indicate higher speed, and so do the dark blues. So, again, you're seeing two different polarities there. So they put it in two different colors. Now, this is density. White is low density. Darker blue is high. And again, nothing's like smacking us right now, but check out the magnetic pressure. Okay? This is pretty elevated. You know what? I'm going to update that. Sorry, guys. Let's try that again. Just to make sure I get you guys the latest data here. So you can see that we got a lot of built-up pressure right now. This is magnetic pressure. Everybody pretty much understands what pressure is. So as you can see that, and it is significant, okay? But it's not, when I say significant, it's it's elevated. But like, again, it's elevated, but it's steady. A lot of times when we get the bigger geomagnetic storms, it's because things are up and down, up and down, up and down, which causes our magnetic field to vibrate and compress and contract and expand out, all those things really, really quickly. And when it does stuff like that, a lot of times it'll develop cracks in our magnetic field or weak spots. And that's when the solar wind or a CME gets in a lot better, right? So when you see something like blowing like this is doing very, very steadily, our magnetic field is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's deflecting it off. So, you know, and again, and I know I might not be using the correct verbiage here, but I just want everybody to understand it. And, you know, sometimes I want to make sure that I'm using words that doesn't sound like word salad to you guys. Because I know when I first got into looking at this stuff, everything just sounded like word salad. It really did. People just out here talking about stuff just to try to make themselves sound smart. It didn't make any sense to me. But, you know, not everybody, or I never would have gotten into this. But there were a few out there that did that. And they probably still are doing it. I don't know. But there's nothing wrong with it if you're talking to an audience that understands what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's why. So if anybody's listening to me that understands the like technical terms and stuff, I could use those words too. I know what they mean. I just don't. Because, you know, I wouldn't want nobody talking to me like that. This is kind of an informal thing, guys. This isn't, you know, I'm not in a classroom. I like to help people understand, but I'm not in a classroom, and I want people to feel comfortable. So that's why I do it like I do it, and hopefully it helps everybody, even the ones that do understand. I learn from you guys, and hopefully you guys can learn something from me. I don't pretend to know everything, that's for sure. You know, there are those out there that will. That's for daggone sure. But one of the good things about CMEs and solar wind is this, Aurora. These things are awesome. Okay? So right now, obviously we've got a little uptick, right? So we are getting more geomagnetic activity right now. That's probably from a couple of the little small CMEs and coronal holes. You know, we connected to a couple of them a few days back. They were small. We were wondering whether or not they would affect us, but it does look like they might be a little bit. You can see this right here. Looking at the Aurora model here is actually a very good way to see how much geomagnetism is actually getting through, because that's what's happening here. The plasma gets through. It excites the molecules, which are either what we typically talk about is oxygen and nitrogen. When those molecules get excited, they want to go back to their unexcited state, their stable state. So when they're returning back to that stable state, they put off the color. That's when they glow. Okay? So an oxygen one, depending on where it's at in the atmosphere, typically you'll get a green out of that. And then you'll get red. Red comes typically from nitrogen. You're going to see, oh man, you're going to see purples. I mean, you can see all kinds of colors, right? So I want to show you that. Now, I'm going to briefly show you spaceweather.com. Okay? And I only show this briefly because I would love to sit here to show it to you the whole thing. But these guys do such good work over here. I want you guys to go look at them over here. Okay? These guys are always in my description box 100% of the time. So the link's always there. But I'm going to put it in the chat right now just so you guys have it. Please go check them out. But they're talking about the event back in 2000. Okay? They call it the Bastille Day event. Yeah, most of you guys probably didn't even know this happened. So I'm not even going to go too much into it. But you can see, just like you get a big flare. Look at the sun here. You guys, look at that. You see the whiteout? When you hear us say whiteout when we're talking about this stuff, this is what we're talking about. That's complete whiteout conditions. Those are highly charged particles impacting the camera. Okay, where'd it come from? Right here. See this? See that flare? That's exactly where that flare was at, or that eruption I just showed you guys earlier today, or earlier on in the stream. So as you can see that, I mean, it just boom, boom, okay? Now, again, I'm not going to go into what this did, but I will show you this. These are the colors of the Aurora. Look what it did here. This is just amazing. People were describing it like the sky was on fire. It just, yeah. And again, he goes into really good detail over here. So please, I didn't know that, Menacing. I didn't know that. I never heard that before. Somebody asked me to put something in the chat there, or what were you guys here? I don't know how Ron's feeling. Who's asking that? I can't. Sorry, guys. My chat is just like all jacked up. True Seeker. Yeah, I don't know how Ron's doing. I haven't talked to him in a few days. But yeah. Who knows? Bad trip. Yeah, right? Yeah, Adam. That's a good question. You know, Adam says, "Where'd all the large quakes go?" Guess what? We actually had a couple. Not real big ones, but they were sizable enough that they took my attention for a second. So let me grab the USGS. We'll take a look at that real quick. There was a couple decent ones here the past few hours, right as these things were firing off. Ain't that kind of coincidental, you think? We had one over here in Vanuatu, okay? That was a 5.1. Then we had one down here in Ecuador. Check that out. A 5.7. We had a 5.4 down in Venezuela. Let's go ahead and check out the one here in California. That's a pretty sizable one too, it looks like. Yeah, 4.6 in California at Ridgecrest. That's definitely that's definitely a decent size one, guys. That one just happened. What time? Yeah, just a couple hours ago. That's at Ridgecrest too. We talked about Ridgecrest a lot. And I know Ron has, and everybody else has too. But yeah. Yeah, if you guys, if Ron's sick or whatever, please somebody let me know. We'll pray for Ron and everything. Send him some good love and light, and just, lift him up a little bit. See if we can help people. I didn't know Ron was sick, or I hadn't talked to him in a few days. Okay, so, anyway, guys. I do think that I'm probably going to go ahead and cut this, guys. I tell you what. Let me do this real quick, and we'll check this out. I'll bring you guys back over to the Sun Diver, because I know it's pretty cool to look at. And we'll end the show there. And, yeah. It's, there? Yep, there it is. So, we'll end the show on this imaging. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Cheryl, what's up? Good to see you guys. 7th, everybody, guys. And again, guys, I can't promise you me being on here every day. Again, I have a lot of stuff, the stuff going on in my life that I can't really talk about. And, it's not like, if you think you know what I'm talking about, you don't. I'm not even, it's nothing like that. I'm just, fighting some sicknesses and stuff in my own health and all that. And I definitely could use some prayers, and we'll just leave it at that. And but guys, you know, all this stuff I just showed you, there is no fear. Okay, don't fear nothing, please. Don't waste your life and don't waste your time being scared. It just won't do you no good. You will definitely 100% regret it if you turn around and look at your life and you live 3/4 of it in fear of what somebody was going to think about you, about if the sky was falling or whatever it is. There's no room in my life anymore for fear, and I'm not ever going to perpetuate that ever again. You know, I like to think that I didn't, but I go back and I look at my earlier content, like when I first started my channel, and I could definitely see where it kind of looked like maybe I was. And I apologize to those people that seen that. I didn't do it on purpose, but when I go back and I look at it, it kind of does look like I'm causing a little bit of fear. And I do apologize for that. I don't want anybody to be scared. Hey, Kenley, what's up? You know, guys, when it comes down to it, all you got is the people you love and the time you spend with them. And I can tell you from experience, and it's becoming more and more evident to me every day, that we don't get that time back. And you can't buy more of it. So take advantage of it. Just don't waste it. It's not, yeah. Just don't waste it, alright? But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off here, guys. Sorry. Anyway, God bless. Yahusha saves, and yeah, you can drink this